Hello, Dolphins. I'm Lisa Sewell. Welcome to today's Pod Talk. I'm joined by Eric Ravenscroft. Eric graduated from CSUCI with a degree in Sociology and is now the owner of Ravenscroft Group and a business consultant for Arizona nonprofits. Eric, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. This is amazing. I love this.
So tell us a little bit more about the work that you're doing as a business consultant for nonprofits.
Sure. Really, it's just helping all and any nonprofit that's in need right now, especially with everything going on in the world with the pandemic. A lot of these nonprofits, their normal fundraising efforts are halted. Whether it's in-person events, golf tournaments, galas, whatever it may be, a lot of them have just come to a halt. Fundraising efforts, donations are at an all-time low. So really what I'm doing is going in with several nonprofits and helping them just with their business structure. So one, for example, that we're partnering with that I work a lot with is the Miracle League of Arizona, helping them actually develop a CRM structure, helping them with their touch points to donors or family members, or even people that just love what they do and want to stay connected. So with them, it's just more developing such things as business structure, touch points, developing out the CRMs, where others, such as the Ronald McDonald House of Charities, where I sit on the board as president of the Red Shoe Society, just coming up with ways to be creative to raise more money for the house since golf tournament was canceled. The gala was canceled for the fall. So just trying to kind of find new and innovative ways of helping out the house and raising money for those organizations.
Yeah, you've had to be really creative, it sounds like, and resourceful. This has been a
Oh yeah,
challenging transition.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Well, you're doing awesome work. And I wanted to talk about the recent transition that you've made from your previous industry
Mhm.
you're in. So for 10 years, you were working in wealth management, and you've made the decision to transition out of that and start your own real estate business. So can you talk about that decision that you made?
Sure. Yeah. So like you said, I was in the financial services, wealth management industry for a little bit over 10 years, from a stockbroker or intern, actually, during my days at Channel Islands, to a stockbroker, consultant, advisor, manager, and then most recently director of wealth management. And while I loved what I did back then, things weren't changing in the industry. It was a lot of the same things. It was a lot of numbers driven instead of people driven, not only from an associate standpoint, but from a client standpoint.
Right.
Um, every firm is different. So there may be some firms out there that do it the right way. But with my experience, I was involved in two acquisitions in the last 3 years. A lot of people being let go, so it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth recently of, everything is so focused on the numbers. And at the end of the day, it is a business and I understand that. But the thing that I felt the industry was lacking was education.
Mm.
A lot of clients that I would deal with, they would come to me, come to my branch or the firm and simply say, I don't know what any of this is. And they were never educated. It was just, advisors or service individuals telling them, hey, this is what you need to do. But there wasn't that first step, in my opinion, of educating them on the why.
Right.
So after being laid off in December from another corporate acquisition, I really had some time, especially with the pandemic, to decide what it is that I want to do. Had interviews, and a lot of the firms just it wasn't meshing with my investment philosophy, my core of just how to do business, how to educate clients, how to service clients. So actually in July, my wife and I decided that we would create our own real estate business, but just not having it focused on real estate, is integrating everything that I have learned and gained from experience in my time in the financial services industry and apply that to our real estate business to offer those services for free to all our clients. So whether that's financial planning, whether that's estate planning, whether it's just simply looking at your budget and coming up with a plan or a spending analysis, all those things to help people reach their goals of home ownership faster, whether it's your first time home buyer, whether you're looking for a second home, a vacation home, whatever it may be. That's kind of how we structure the business. Really, it's looking at everything related to your personal finances, wealth creation. We're in the final stages right now of creating partnerships with estate attorneys, tax planning attorneys, and lenders that really can do some amazing things. So we are technically, a real estate company, but we like to think of ourselves as really being able to do everything and partner people with the right connections related to everything with their finances.
That's a really unique model. Very, very cool.
It is. It is.
So I wanted to just, I'm curious, as a sociology major at Channel Islands and then going into the wealth industry,
Mhm.
can you talk a little bit about sort of what that trajectory, that path was? Because I think that might be sort of a
Yeah,
surprising role, that you wouldn't necessarily expect from somebody that had studied sociology. So can
absolutely.
you give a little background on kind of why you picked that major and maybe how that sort of influenced maybe the work that you're doing now?
Yeah, and it's funny. I always get that question, especially from clients, interviews, you name it. It's always we're missing something. Something's not lining up here. But originally, when I enrolled at Channel Islands, I was a cadet for the Camarillo Police Department or Sheriff's Department through Ventura County Sheriffs. So that's where sociology initially came from, was because I thought that was my path. It didn't last long. I ultimately had to make the decision whether I was going to go to the academy or finish school. So I decided I'm going to finish school. About 2 weeks later, I found the internship with Scottrade. I know Scottrade is no longer a firm anymore, but for those of you who remember Scottrade, I got an internship with Scottrade out in Oxnard, and really had no, I mean, I always had a desire for finances, for investments and savings, but didn't think it would turn into a career. It was more just something to learn, get experience, all while going to school. But in that role, it just started to transition into something more. I had a role created for me after I graduated, and then from there, just kind of the snowball effect just kept going into to new roles, to promotions and such. And after having a lot of conversations with people, sociology still has helped me tremendously, even in a service oriented role, in a finance role, and even now in a real estate role. Just understanding the study of people, understanding the different demographics and how to either approach different people from different backgrounds. And it helps me just kind of put myself in their shoes. They're not going through the same things that someone else may be going through from a different background, from different upbringings, situations, experiences. So I try to tie it in as much as possible. And I did struggle with it at first, thinking, okay, I need to go back to school and get a degree in economics and business or whatever it may be. But it is truly provided me with a diverse experience in that side of things and looking at it from a different light. So that's kind of my journey from sociology to where I'm at now.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So what advice would you have for any fellow Dolphins, maybe so our alumni that are out there and maybe they're thinking about making a career change?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just don't be afraid. I know that's very broad and generic, but that was my biggest struggle. I've always thought about having my own business, creating my own business, kind of getting away from being an employee or working for a corporation. And it was always in the back of my head is, oh, I have this security. I have kind of that backing behind me. But the way I see it is if you are driven, if you have something that you're good at, if you have something that you know you're going to enjoy, you're going to make it work. You're going to put the effort in because it's yours. It's something that you can be proud of to call your own. Throughout this pandemic, it was tough. It was very, very difficult. There was several mornings that I woke up before we launched the business and I thought, okay, maybe I should just find something, just go back to that where it's comfortable. And I really had to challenge myself, really had to kind of push myself to, no, I know I can do this. The other thing that I would definitely suggest, and I always tell people this is, one, don't be afraid to reach out to people. Connections that you may know. Don't think that you're bothering someone because you'll be surprised. There's a lot of people out there that truly want to help others. And especially with the connections that we have through the Channel Islands Alumni Association, uh, LinkedIn, the groups, I would definitely encourage people just to reach out. Don't be afraid. You might not get a message from someone, but the worst that can happen is someone doesn't respond or doesn't give you what you're looking for. But keep trying. That's one of the things that has definitely got me to where I'm at is the connections that I've built. If you're looking for a new career, you don't know who may know someone or have a connection or just heard of a great opportunity. So I make it a point to myself to try to connect on LinkedIn just to random people that I don't know daily. There's several alumni that have reached out to me, recent students, recent graduates, also people that surprisingly there also are some Dolphins out here in the Phoenix area. There's not many, but there's a few. We've had conversations just about what brought us here and kind of how we can help each other grow from a personal standpoint, but also from a career standpoint. So I'd invite everyone just remove the barrier and connect with people, call people, send messages on LinkedIn. It's very easy. And if you're not sure where to start, send me a message. I can provide all my contact information so you can reach out to me and I can definitely help you just get started reaching out or trying to find your strengths and point you in the right direction.
That's such awesome advice. I'm so glad you talked about networking and just kind of overcoming that hurdle. I think people, like you said, they're a little bit intimidated or they're afraid to contact strangers. And
Yep.
thank you for making that offer to share your information.
Yeah,
And I know the
absolutely.
students and the alumni that I've talked with you have really benefited from your advice and guidance. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful tips on networking. So I wanted to see if you could go back and be a student at Channel Islands again. Is there anything that you would change or do differently?
Yes, 100%. I would interact more. Kind of just going based on what I was talking about. I was the one that was the typical commuter at Channel Islands. I was working full time as an intern at Scottrade and had some other part time jobs in the evening. So I really was not able to utilize a lot of the services, take advantage of a lot of the opportunities that were there on campus. Um, I I'll take the blame. I just didn't make it a priority at the time because I was just so busy with other things. But I would encourage students to not make the same mistake I did, to utilize the resources. Right now, it's a little bit difficult in the time that we're in, but there are a lot of resources that would be available. Again, LinkedIn or hopping on a Zoom call. Take advantage of the resources that university provides. That would be the biggest thing that I wish I would have done. But again, I was younger. I was focused on doing this and other things. So, but that's the one thing that I would stress to people to definitely utilize.
Yeah, and I'm sure that resonates with a lot of our students. It is a commuter campus for many people, and even in this virtual environment during COVID, a lot of the resources that you had access to on campus are available now virtually, which is really great. So
That's
thank you
wonderful. Yeah.
for encouraging that. I think that's so true. And and my last question for you really is a little bit more open and broad. I always like to end on what has inspired you lately.
Yeah, it has to be working with the nonprofits and seeing the families, the children, and with the Miracle League specifically, the players. So Miracle League is an organization where they provide players of all ages from 4 to 70 years old the opportunity to play baseball. And these are all individuals who have special needs or some type of special situation where they may not have the opportunity to play baseball. Um, Ronald McDonald House is an organization that houses families with children with critical, sometimes life-threatening illnesses or diseases. So just being able to see both virtually, both being involved with both nonprofits, seeing the families, seeing the children, seeing the players with everything going on, and still just having a very positive outlook. Um, for them, it's more than just the pandemic. It's more than just COVID. It's I have a child who is ill, or I have these barriers that I have to overcome. Seeing those individuals with everything that they're going through and having another huge hurdle thrown at them in this pandemic has really been inspiring, and makes me just think, okay, it could be a lot worse. I need to be thankful for what I have, and truly inspire me to the point where that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. That's why I'm working with nonprofits. That's why we formed the Ravenscroft Group the way that we did, is to give back, is to help others. So that's definitely been kind of the most inspiring piece and thing that I've seen this last year that's helped me.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm really excited to hear what happens for you and your new business. And I'm excited for our Dolphins to get to benefit from talking with you. So I will make sure that when we share out this video, that we share your contact information so that they can reach out, maybe through LinkedIn. But I just want to thank you again for sharing your time, sharing your advice, and your inspiration with everybody, about what's possible, whether it's a career change or just really trying to find that fit. So identifying something where you really get to do work that aligns with your values and what's important to you. So I appreciate you really sharing that perspective. So thank you so much for talking with me today.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just closing, I kind of want to just extend an invite to everyone, for anyone who is coming to Arizona or thinking about Arizona. We do have a new LinkedIn group that we created. It's basically just Dolphins in the Desert. We have a small group of alumni out here, but for those that may not know people out here or just looking for an opportunity to connect, definitely reach out to me, find us on LinkedIn, and we'd be happy to help any way possible.
That's awesome. I love the name, Dolphins in the Desert. That's
Yeah.
well, thank you, Eric. I really appreciate it. You have an awesome day and have a good one, Dolphins.
Take care. Thank you.